We are talking about a highly classified, completely off the books real estate transaction. It involves a secret deal struck in the dark between the newly reinstated police chief, Anna Devane, and the city's most notorious mob boss, Sonny Corinthos. Just let that sink in for a moment. Why would the top cop in town be doing secret business with a known crime syndicate leader? Word on the street is that Anna recently purchased a very remote, highly isolated piece of land directly from Sonny. But here's the kicker. She explicitly demanded that Sonny keep this transaction completely buried. She wanted no paper trail, no public records filed, and total radio silence regarding the transfer of the property. And for now, Sonny seems to be honoring that request, likely assuming it is some covert PCPD or WSB operation that requires absolute discretion. But if you ask me, something about this feels hidden in a way that goes far beyond standard police work. There is a sinister undertone to this deal that is impossible to ignore. Everyone assumes that Anna is simply trying to secure a private, quiet retreat. Most viewers believe that after her harrowing ordeal at the clinic in France and the relentless psychological torture she endured under Ross Cullum, she just wants an isolated place to heal. The obvious explanation seems to be that she is building a safe house, a personal sanctuary where she can finally escape the constant noise and danger of Port Charles to piece her shattered mind back together. People look at her returning to the PCPD, reclaiming her badge, and they think she is back in control. They think the worst of her trauma is firmly in the rearview mirror. But what if we're looking at this the wrong way? What if the facade of the strong, capable, and composed police chief is just a fragile mask that is slipping by the second? The terrifying truth might be that her mental state is rapidly deteriorating, and those horrifying hallucinations of Peter August are not fading away at all. In fact, they are taking the wheel. Anna has completely lost control of her own mind, and the stoic exterior she presents to her colleagues is on the verge of a catastrophic collapse. There may be more going on here than a simple, innocent real estate deal. What if that remote land is not meant to be a healing sanctuary at all? I keep wondering whether Anna is actively building a prison, not a standard, sterile jail cell for the PCPD, but a meticulous, horrifying replica of the exact dungeon at Wyndemere where she was held captive, drugged, and psychologically broken. She is completely losing her grip on reality, and the phantom voice of Peter August is now dictating her every single move, whispering dark, twisted commands into her ear day and night. Think about the profound trauma she suffered in that damp, dark stone room on Spoon Island. She was injected with mind-altering drugs, forced to endure waking nightmares, and systematically stripped of her sanity by Ross Cullum. Now her fractured, bleeding mind is fixating on a deeply twisted sense of injustice. She looks around Port Charles and sees others who were also held hostage at Wyndemere, specifically Jocelyn Jacks and Liesl Obrecht, walking around completely fine, seemingly unbothered by the ghosts that are currently eating Anna alive from the inside out. In Anna's distorted, hallucination-riddled reality, this disparity is entirely unforgivable. Why should she be the only one drowning in waking nightmares while they get to move on with their lives, breathing free air and sleeping soundly? Peter's voice is dripping poison into her mind, convincing her that the scales of justice must be violently balanced. That is exactly why she needs this secret, untraceable land from Sonny. She is constructing a carbon copy of that Wyndemere cell to drag her victims down into the exact same psychological hell she experienced. She wants them to feel the cold stone, the isolation, and the sheer terror of losing their mind. Let's break down how this terrifying plot could play out, because there are a few distinct ways this nightmare could unfold. Scenario 1. Jocelyn Jacks becomes the primary target of Anna's twisted, festering resentment. Jocelyn was held captive at Wyndemere by Cassius Faison, yet she emerged victorious, even making secret high-level deals with WSB head Z to secure freedom for Jason Morgan and Valentine Cassadine. Anna knows Jocelyn is now heavily entangled with the WSB. That's one possibility. Anna views Jocelyn's resilience and quick recovery as a direct mockery of her own prolonged suffering. She wants to break the young, ambitious agent before her career even truly begins. Imagine Anna using her supreme authority as police chief to corner Jocelyn without raising any red flags. She could easily fabricate a legitimate sounding reason to bring the young woman in for questioning, only to divert the police transport to this newly built remote nightmare facility on Sunny's old land. Jocelyn thinks she is tough, having survived Cassius and taken down Ross Cullum, but she has never faced the kind of intimate, psychological warfare that a completely unhinged Anna Devane is preparing to unleash. But another theory is that Liesl Obrecht is the true ultimate centerpiece of this revenge plot. Scenario 2 revolves entirely around Liesl and her dark, complicated history. Liesl was locked in that very same Wyndemere cell recently, yet she somehow maintained her sanity and even managed to protect Cassius Phazon's legacy in the process. Anna has a long, bitter, blood-soaked history with Liesl and the entire Caesar Phazon bloodline. With the hallucination of Peter August pulling the strings in Anna's mind, there is absolutely no way Liesl escapes his posthumous wrath. Peter despised Liesl, and now he is using Anna's trembling hands to exact his final, brutal revenge. Anna might see capturing Liesl as the ultimate form of poetic justice. She could easily lure Liesl into a trap under the guise of needing her specialized medical expertise for a confidential PCPD case, or by offering classified information about the late Cassius Phazon. Once the trap is sprung, Liesl would wake up to find herself back in a Wyndemere cell. Only this time, it wouldn't be on Spoon Island. It would be located on a remote, untraceable patch of land owned by the police chief herself, miles away from anyone who could possibly hear her scream for help. Then we have scenario 3, which brings an unexpected, volatile wildcard into the mix, Britt Westbourne. We all saw Britt's recent explosive outburst at General Hospital, where she boldly demanded compassion from Anna and completely lost her temper. That confrontation was a massive psychological trigger for the fragile police chief. Peter's voice in Anna's head is screaming that Britt needs to pay dearly for her insolence and disrespect. Britt wasn't a hostage at Wyndemere recently, but her deep connection to Liesl, her history with Peter, and the heavy weight of the Phazon legacy makes her the perfect third target for this twisted operation. Anna's deteriorating mind is weaving a massive, paranoid conspiracy where Jocelyn, Liesl, and Britt are all interconnected enemies who must be punished to restore cosmic balance. By kidnapping all three women, Anna can recreate the ultimate dynamic of absolute control and utter despair. She is strategically using Sunny Corinthos' land to ensure that when these prominent women inevitably vanish, the local mob boss is unknowingly providing the perfect impenetrable cover. Because Anna demanded secrecy, Sunny won't say a single word about the land sale to anyone, meaning Anna has created the perfect invisible blind spot to operate her torture chamber without any interference. But guys, we have to talk about the most dangerous possibility of all. It is not just about locking them up in a replica cell and throwing away the key. The boldest, most haunting theory is what Anna actually plans to do to them once they are chained to those damp, cold walls. She doesn't just want them to suffer physical confinement. She wants them to see exactly what she sees. She plans to inject Jocelyn, Liesl, and Britt with the exact same potent hallucinogenic drugs that Ross Cullum used to shatter her own mind. Anna wants to force these three women into a terrifying shared psychosis. She wants Jocelyn to hallucinate her absolute worst fears coming to life in the shadows. She wants Liesl to be endlessly tormented by agonizing visions of her dead children, breaking her formidable spirit once and for all. And she wants Britt to lose her mind completely, trapped in a maze of chemical terror. In her broken logic, Anna believes that the only way to cure her own relentless hallucinations of Peter August is to forcefully transfer the madness into the minds of others. She wants to sit comfortably outside those heavy iron bars and watch as the three women lose their grip on reality, screaming at phantoms in the dark, just like she does every single night in the privacy of her own home. It is a truly chilling thought, isn't it? The decorated woman sworn to protect the citizens of Port Charles is secretly building a house of horrors right under everyone's noses, using her badge as a shield. And Sunny Corinthos, the powerful man who prides himself on knowing absolutely everything that happens in his territory, has blindly handed her the keys to do it. Will Sunny realize the grave, deadly mistake he made before the first innocent victim is taken in the dead of night? Will he connect the dots when people start disappearing? Or will his promise of silence make him an unwitting accomplice to Anna's madness? Or will Anna actually succeed in dragging Jocelyn, Liesel, and Britt down into the dark, inescapable abyss of her shattered mind? We don't have all the answers yet, and the suspense is agonizing. This could be exactly what is happening behind the scenes. Or maybe the truth is even darker and more twisted than we can possibly imagine right now. But one thing is for absolutely certain. The heroic, composed Anna Devane we all knew and loved is completely gone, and a dangerous, unpredictable monster directed by the ghost of Peter August has taken her place. Keep your eyes peeled and question everything you see on screen, because there is definitely a lot more to this horrifying story that hasn't been told yet.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.